Good morning. I'm Harley Schlanger from the LaRouche Organization with your daily video update for April 12th, 2023. I'm going to begin by reminding you that this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th of April, the Schiller Institute will be sponsoring a World Historic Conference in which you can participate along with people from virtually every continent in the world who will be speakers in a dialogue on how to put an end to the collapsing and dangerous rules-based order with its wars, with its austerity, with its censorship, and to create a just system of sovereign nation states that participate together for mutual benefit. This conference will be available to anyone. You can register for it at the bottom of the description page. I'll have a link. But don't just register. Register your friends. Get other people involved. Meet new people, bring new people in, because a dialogue is what's necessary now. The theme should be for you, don't make excuses, make history. Now, this will be a profound event because what we're seeing is changes happening so rapidly that the present system may be completely changed within weeks or months, and for the better. It could change for the worse if you sit on the sidelines, but we've got to make sure that as these historic events are unfolding daily, that we push it in the right direction. Now, I see how deeply ingrained the pessimism and cynicism is when I read through some of the comments that are posted on the Facebook and YouTube page and some of the emails I get. You know, the idea that things aren't going to change, it's all pre-planned, that the geniuses of the World Economic Fund will simply move to China, create a new system, a new top-down global dictatorship, blah, 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 blah. Do you really believe that the people who put Biden in as president of the United States are capable of overwhelming the whole world and accomplishing their objective? They might end up putting us into a World War III and a nuclear war, but they're not going to succeed in creating a system that will work. And you know, the fact that they have to rely on someone like Biden and Justin Trudeau and Rishi Sunak and the switcheroo character Macron shows you how unstable their system is. Or that Annalena Baerbock and Ursula von der Leyen, the women warriors for the neoconservative global warfare, that's their choice for the global dictators? Come on, they can be toppled. They can be beaten. And the other question is, do you really think the American people will continue to embrace their own enslavement? I think we've yet to see a real awakening hit the United States, but it is occurring around the world. Let me just give you a perfect example of that. Which nation was a more obedient partner in the petrodollar system than the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Are you paying attention to what's happening there? Did you think this would happen? Since the creation of Saudi Arabia, that the Saud family was put on the throne in the Arabian Peninsula by the British in the 1920s, they've been the most obedient servant of the global oligarchy. For example, they did the bidding of the oil cartel and working with Henry Kissinger in the 1970s to create the present global financial system, the petrodollar system. They cooperated with the CIA in creating Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan against the Soviets and continued to fund so-called Islamic terrorist operations throughout the region of Southwest Asia. They funded the uprising in Syria, for example. They went to war with Yemen, which is a proxy war against Iran. They were always reliable. They did what they were told until now. Look what's happening. Look at the panic in the establishment. They're afraid to even talk about this. But just in the last weeks, they're breaking with the oil and financial corporate cartels in reducing oil production, despite being ordered to increase oil production to bring down prices. They're working instead with OPEC+, which includes Russia. They're working closely with China to achieve a rapprochement with Iran, which is moving ahead rapidly. This is changing the whole political environment in Southwest Asia. They're bringing in Syria into the cooperation with the Islamic states. They're moving to end the war in Yemen. Now, if you think this is part of the plan of the World Economic Fund or Foundation, if you think this is what the geopoliticians want, what the City of London wants, then you're as deluded as they are. This situation is getting out of their control. Now, there are many other examples of these kinds of changes. For example, the refusal of virtually every African nation to support sanctions against Russia. They're not taking their orders anymore. They're standing up to the Blinkens and the Kamala Harrises. When Harris went to Kenya and elsewhere, she was met by resistance from leaders there. The idea that these are going to be subservient colonial states, that era is done. We're seeing a newfound self-confidence in the global South, which Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, is now calling the global majority. As it's becoming more obvious that the accumulation of debt, unpayable debt owed by nations, by corporations, by individuals, will never be covered, we're seeing moves toward a different financial system. The move away from the dollar system, away from the SWIFT system, to using local and regional currencies in transactions and investment. Glass-Steagall being discussed in Switzerland, where there's now only one large bank. It's a country that's become a bank. We're even seeing discussion of Glass-Steagall in the United States, that is banking separation, return to regulation. These things were unpredictable 6 months ago, but they're coming into being today. Even demands for the exoneration of Julian Assange coming from Australia and now coming from some in the U.S. Congress. Now, this is occurring because the establishment has no workable plan. What they're committed to is war, which means the military-industrial complex makes money while people die. They're committed to austerity, that is, cutting budgets, having more train derailments, having no money available for food, for transportation of goods, supply chain breakdowns, deindustrialization, bailouts, and censorship and intimidation. That's their agenda. And that agenda is under attack globally. Not enough yet in Western Europe and the United States, where the populations are more subservient than we're seeing in Africa, Asia, and South America. So the point here is, don't give in. Give up your cynicism. Talk to everyone. Stop being a victim. Instead, become a world historic individual. Years from now, when your children and grandchildren ask, where were you in 2023 when the rules-based order was put to rest, when the Unipolar Order was ended and replaced by a system of sovereign nation states working in a multilateral agreements for mutual benefit? What did you do? Did you sit back and say it's not possible, there's nothing you can do? Or were you part of it? What will you tell them? Now, I hope you'll be able to say, I did what was right and morally responsible. I joined the mobilization. I worked with the Schiller Institute, with Helga Zepp-LaRouche, to make sure that my fellow citizens became aware that there's an alternative to the collapse which is coming at us like a freight train. That I would not accept the idea of a world dictatorship. That's the lesson. That's the legacy, I should say, that you leave to your children and grandchildren. So use the link below in the description section to register for the conference, but not just for yourself. What we need is for you to engage in a potent, truthful dialogue with as many people as possible. Bring them to the conference. Let's make history, not excuses. Hello, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Support our independence to produce videos like these. Become a member of the LaRouche organization at thelarouche.org/member. By becoming a member for $25 or more, you'll get special access to the EIR Alert Daily Briefing and Weekly Magazine, which is what I read to stay on top of things.